old world is everywhere, in every country. It's above ground, and like we have shown, it's also below our feet. Paola Malta, the Hypogeum, was discovered by accident in 1902 when workers cutting cisterns for new housing development broke through its roof. The workers then tried to hide the underground temple at first, but eventually it was found. During excavations, the previous civilization was found in 1903. Human remains were emptied out and discarded without being properly cataloged. Unbelievable stuff here. Not allowing the public to see the site until 1908, taking 6 years to remove the old world and anything that would give the mainstream history away. Hiding the truth from all of us is exactly what this is saying. And now that we know how to read these stories and find the truth within them, we can see that they found something else in 1990 when further excavations took place between 1990 and 1993. The Hypogeum was then closed to the public for 9 more years, between 1991 and 2000, for destruction work. And since its reopening, the government body only allows 80 people per day to go see this site and is strictly regulated. And remember, they just found this place in 1902. And now they're telling us that this site is from 6,000 years ago. If you've seen the first 95 episodes, you will know that this date is complete nonsense. It's completely made up, all based on testing the local bush near the site, telling us that they just abandoned it for 4,500 years when settlers just decided that their underground palaces, they just weren't in style anymore. We are told that there was a surface shrine that marked the entrance to the site. Do you think that that was something that was removed during all of those years where we weren't allowed at the site? Archaeological excavations indicate that there was once a shrine. This is insane. They obviously saw that there was a shrine. Could you imagine? A few guys that are really great at regurgitating textbooks are all sitting there looking at this place. And one of them just has a vision that there used to be a shrine that marked the entrance to the site. Nothing remains of the potential enclosures that would have marked the entry, but based on a wild guess, there was a shrine there. No, they have that shrine somewhere, and they know that it was there because they removed it. And this is very obvious now. Now, my personal favorite part. How was this thing constructed? Well, they cut directly into the rock with antlers, of course. Just chiseling stone with antlers. Yes, of course, the mainstream history is filled with great stories that are perfect for a baby. Flint, the Flintstones, of course. Chert, just smashing that little rock and antlers against that wall for years until you finally make a palace underground 6,000 years ago. This is great. What else can we tell them? An obsidian was used, a glass formed from lava. Yes, the glass will be the perfect tool to hold in your bare hand and just hit repeatedly against that solid rock. Glass in your hand. Amazing what we're told. It's also a joke. Again, the mainstream history has no idea. They are making all of this up. And they tell you right here, where the site may have been. It might have been. Maybe. But will forever be a mystery if it was first used as early as 6,000 years ago. So when the history major tells you, no, we know that was from 6,000 years ago. We tested it and we are sure of it. We used all the scientific tools of the modern world. When they tell you this, remember that they say that this site might have been first used as early as 4000 BC. It is not confirmed, and it never will be, because it's impossible to confirm that when they just found the place on accident like 100 years ago. Blocked it off from all of us for years, only letting 80 of us see it daily today, and giving us this story. We know here that a much more logical explanation for this site is that there was, taking place all over this map, the previous civilization. And this civilization was incredibly advanced. They created underground structures all over the world, and we have shown this. Underneath all of the major cities, within so-called mountains, this is not a once-off. They did not hit the rock with glass. They didn't hit the rock with an antler. They were advanced, constructing underground passageways all over the world. And it wasn't as far back as we're all told, in my opinion. I believe, based on everything that we have seen to this point, that this civilization was here within the last few hundred years, and a mass event took place, taking most of the previous civilization with it, while leaving their structures behind for all of us to see. And to prove this place wasn't just a couple friends making a little cave. The temple was designed with perfection. The temple structure uses careful direction of light from the sun to penetrate into the lower chambers with intricate patterns. One of the main chambers appears to be oriented such that the light from the winter solstice illuminated its facade from the original opening above. These were master designs. They were built with perfection and with a purpose. Everybody needs to remember that they found this place and then blocked it off from all of us immediately. So at that point, we are allowed to have questions. After you block the site off from all of us, everything is up for debate. You can't perform secret investigations, find items from the past, and then tell us that we have to believe you, believing that you aren't withholding any items or information. A broad range of objects were discovered from the site, blocking us off from the initial findings. So they tell us they found some pottery. And don't forget the pottery. I believe the pottery is something that they give us so that we don't dig deeper. Don't forget this, because I'm going to show it again in future episodes. Remember the pottery. They find some beads, some shell buttons, and some carved figures depicting humans and animals. Nothing to see here, of course. Just some buttons and beads and some pottery. Are we all still buying this nonsense? You tell me. It is estimated that the remains of 7,000 individuals were found in the Hypogeum. 7,000 individuals were found. And though many of the bones were lost early in the excavation process, most of the skulls, not all of them, but most of them, were deposited at the National Museum. And we're just getting started today. Welcome to episode 96 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. The world feels like it's on edge right now. Tensions over the upcoming election, economic instability, supply chain shortages, and health threats popping up left and right. With talk of a new pandemic on the horizon, if you're waiting for the medical industry complex to protect you and your family when things go sideways, you're making a huge mistake. You have to take action and be prepared. That's why I want to tell you all about the wellness company's Contagion Emergency Kit. It's a lifesaver, put together by real experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. Inside, you've got medications. These are critical medications to treat respiratory illnesses and so much more, especially heading into flu season. Can you imagine when you or a loved one need life-saving medications? Are you really going to risk being told no? Don't let anyone play gatekeeper with your health. Just a few clicks and the kit is delivered right to your door. This is peace of mind for you and your family in uncertain times. I have my kit, and now you can get yours by heading to twc.health/MLB and use code MLB to get $30 off and free shipping. That's twc.health/MLB with code MLB for $30 off and free shipping. Don't wait for the next crisis to hit. Be ready, not reactive. Get your kit today and take control of your health. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca K, Christopher Arietta, The Lady Lacey Show, David and Sherry Ferguson, Edwin Johnson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, The Burlesons, Suez KC, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Edward and Brianna, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glascock, PKTFnews.org, Regna Saturna, Dendries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Amberson EMC, HK Sue, Isaac Wright, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Ultimus Maximus, Noble Task Homestead, John Adams, Roberts O'Zolins, Crypto Scugo, Rick Tapkey, Blake, Billy Prater, The Phoenix Art, The Arnolds, Attila Power, VKH Bonner, Bell's Clarions for God, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Peter Battani, Dakota Dunn, Eric Martinez, Ivan Apoctoli, Jim Bro, Edwin Rice, Helmut, Charles Kruger, EdgardT-shirts.com, Meta, Jason Hochberg, Marie C, ValleyMedicinals.com, Kyle Logan, Alina and Chris the IT guy, Ron Mower, David and Irene, Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, William Royal, C3SCOB, Ancient Tallow, Jeffrey Temple, SonyaDane.com, James Alt, Bucksui, Jason Prest, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Miss Rex's Murphy, Mark Chapman, Muji and DeClan, Ariana Oates, Jenica Joyce, Nathan Burba, Ski, Codrenth, The Sovereign, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, Natasha C, K Moore, DevlinMcGregor.com, Don Gaston, Miss Fox, Diamond Jewel, David Rauschenbach, Emily Maryland, Felipe, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Terry, Paraplegic Coffee, Avatars of Gaia, Secrets Beyond Earth, Ellie Annie, Ivan Apoctoli, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Jesse De Leon, Glenn Gunderson, Lisa Boutwell, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, James Vincent, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Anna and Marley Valdez, Shane Dennis, Wayne T, Dax Bilchek, Appeal to Heaven, The Bright Side, Vince Moreno, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. 7,000 individuals from the old world were discovered inside this underground complex, though many of the bones were lost in excavation. What? What are we reading here? This is destruction of our true history, right in front of our faces. Right here in the narrative, we are shown the truth, and it wasn't until now that we could actually see it. How many of us have been taught about this location within our mainstream history classes that we all had to sit through? How many of us saw this sentence, that the bones were lost early in the excavation process? Time and time again, we find massive keys that show that there was a previous civilization here, and we are not being shown the truth. Our true past has been destroyed and hidden from all of us. These stories that we are all given are completely fabricated. The point of interest has already been messed with. Without us being able to confirm any of this, they blocked us all off from the site. Over and over, they do this all the time, all over the world. Now, let's just blow everybody's minds today. Are you ready to take this research further than before? Are you ready to show the world just how incredible this research really is? Here we go. A small percentage of the 7,000 bones. They just told us that they destroyed many of the bones. So a small percentage of the remaining bones have an abnormal cranial elongation, similar to the skulls from ancient Egypt, fueling speculation about the people who occupied this site. An incredible moment in our research that we were all here to see. Why do you think they destroyed many of the bones early in excavation? Why do you think they did this? They did this because most, if not all of those 7,000 skulls that were found at this site had abnormal cranial elongation that would take their ridiculous narrative and rip it right in half forever. This is why we were not allowed to see the site until these bones were all destroyed. The previous civilization, we've shown many times, had beings that do not look like us. We have shown it in the art that is still on the walls of some of these cathedrals and basilicas. Statues that we were just told were art. We were told they were fictional characters, myths. I don't believe it's a coincidence any longer. We are showing over and over that where we live is so much different than what we are told. And this is being exposed now. Absolutely incredible. We can even go back to episode 81, Statues in the Sky, at Mount Nemrut in Turkey. And you can now ask, why were the heads removed? And have a much clearer answer. Removing the heads that showed that these individuals had elongated skulls, keeping the ones that had a hat on to hide it. This is incredible. You can even go to episode 91. Same thing. The heads are all removed, all over the world. I believe this is what they were hiding now. The elongated heads of the past, going to every single continent before we got here, the reset, and chopped off the heads of these statues, making sure that this group of people were removed from our timeline, removing them from the narrative that we are all told. The structure is constructed entirely underground and consists of 3 superimposed levels, multiple levels yet again, with hallways and chambers interconnected through a series of steps, telling us that they think the upper level is thought to have been occupied first. No way. Really? I don't think any of us would have ever figured that one out, that the upper level is thought to have been occupied first. Ridiculous. The previous civilization were extremely advanced. The oracle room producing a powerful acoustic resonance from any vocalization made inside of it. The other room is decorated in a geometrical pattern of spirals. All of this is done by Fred Flintstone and his antler. No. Then we get the central structure. No bones were ever recovered from this room, we are told. And we all fully trust that now. Nope. Not even close. And the best part of this site had to be the lower level, where they just have one sentence. The lower story contained no bones or offerings. Yeah, right. Before this research, we would have read that sentence and said, okay, yeah, nothing to see there. Not anymore. We know exactly what to look for. We understand how to read these stories, how to find their flaws. We understand that there were supposedly 7,000 skulls and bodies from the old world found in this underground complex, telling us that we weren't allowed to see this site, and then destroying most of the bones while excavating it. And then we would just trust this group when they tell us that the lower level contained no bones or offerings. Offerings. What a weird word that they chose there. And they also don't know how to spell the word story. What a mess. Absolutely insane what we have found today. And we're not even done yet. Let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. You are all helping this research reach brand new people every single week, growing this community by the day. I'm very thankful for all of your support. We are also over on X, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, Rockfin, and Spotify. It's so odd that this group is yet again so interested in our favorite locations, where visitors are recommended to book months before, as they don't let anybody go in there and see the place that they just found, also profiting off of it. According to Heritage Malta.mt News, the National Museum of Archaeology has an exhibition titled Alien Headaches that have these skulls on display. calling these skulls aliens, of course, because they can't just say they're from the past. They have to say that they're from a fictional place, with zero evidence provided that that could even be a possibility, rather than just simply saying that their narrative is wrong and that there used to be humans or beings here where we all live that did not look the way that we currently all do. Their evolution theory would be thrown right in the garbage if this was true. So they have to come up with aliens. Understanding that we are not the only type of species to ever be here is key. Our true past, the true history, is not at all what we have been told. This place that we live had and may still have individuals here that have elongated skulls. Going on to say, a unique opportunity to observe the Hypogeum skulls closely occurred in 2020 when nobody was allowed in, since these skulls are usually kept in the reserve collection and have not been publicly exhibited since 1995. Why are these skulls being hidden from the public still? I think we all know why. Oh, hey, by the way, everybody, yeah, there were actually some people here a few hundred years ago that we forgot to tell you about that had elongated skulls. So here's their bones, and yeah, we did destroy most of them in 1903 to 1909 when they didn't allow you to all watch us destroy them. Excavate the site. But trust us, the rest of the story is totally true, I promise. No. Until 1985, the skulls were on display at the National Museum of Archaeology. Strangely, Heritage Malta, the authority responsible for Malta's prehistoric narrative, a nice group that we can investigate later, this group removed the skulls from the public's view around 30 years ago. And since then, they have only been available to researchers by special permission. Now, why would somebody do that? Somebody that has nothing to hide. Why would they do this? Or do you think that they might have a lot to hide? Do they feel threatened that their ridiculous narratives would fall apart in seconds? You tell me. There is so much secrecy surrounding this site, these skulls, our history. It really is incredible when you know what to look for, like we do here. It completely opens the doors and lets the truth come flying through. We are also told that the most widely accepted explanation is that these skulls might have, they might have been the result of intentional cranial deformation, a practice known in various ancient cultures where the skull was bound or shaped during infancy to achieve a certain form. And this is easily disproven based on the amount of secrecy surrounding these skulls. If it was a simple, intentional cranial deformation, bound or shaping during infancy, if this was truly the case, we all know that they wouldn't be destroying them without the public, all of us, there to see it when it happens. They wouldn't be hiding them in the basement for the last 30 years. There is obviously something about these skulls, something that would prove that they weren't intentionally formed like this, and it was a natural occurrence. And they know this. And this is exactly why they keep them in the basement. Removed thousands of them from the site 125 years ago upon finding them. Since we have found so many flaws within the narrative, it really makes me want to go to the artificial cranium deformation research page. Is it possible that all or most of these skulls found around the world were not formed or bound, and instead, these were the skulls of the past? You can see that this is not just in one location. This is worldwide, from Hungary to Germany to Sogdia, which is present-day Turkmenistan, which we all know is a very interesting location. Elongated skulls found in the Nazca culture, finding them over in Mexico, Bolivia. Again, they are everywhere. I believe we have located the true meaning of these elongated skulls today. I believe that this was a group of individuals that were here, a part of the previous civilization, and today they give us this alien excuse, hiding them from us, destroying them, It's very odd. The process that it would require to make a human skull do this is insane, including comb-like set of thin rods binding the baby's forehead. I mean, do I need to go on? There is no chance that this was done all over the world. I believe this may have taken place in some cultures to try and resemble the people of the past. But these skulls are not from those people. These skulls were the people of the past, a group from the previous civilization. It's all very interesting. You even find the elongated skulls on coins. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments. Now let's get back to this location of Hypogeum, the underground temple in Malta. A 3D laser scan was conducted, showing the 3 layers of this place. A 5,400 square foot site. A hypogeum is an underground chamber, and this is not the only one in the world. It's not even close. We find another one in central Italy, the Hypogeum of the Voluminous family, telling us that it dates back to the 3rd century BC. But the date is, of course, uncertain. Holding numerous subterranean tombs yet again. The tomb was supposedly used until the 1st century BC. This is what we're being told. Yet, they didn't even find it until 1840, rediscovering it on February 5th, 1840. And then knowing all about its history, of course. And this is totally believable. No. And you won't find anything odd in here, right? You won't find anything that's going to show that what we have been told is a massive lie. We aren't going to find any art. No depictions of the past. Oh, wait. What is this? Located inside of this underground temple, it just so happens that there are, yet again, depictions of angels. Angels, yet again. What are the odds that these same angels are depicted all over the world? All over buildings. And now they are found underneath the ground, under our feet, buried in the ground. This is still down there. If this is what they left us to see, the people that found it, could you even imagine what they really found in that place? Could you even imagine what our true past really is? Who was here? What was here? What is the meaning of this place that we all live today? Why are we finding elongated skulls and angels right under the dirt, right under our feet, hidden from the public? And are they still here today? The further that we go, the more that we find. And like I always say, and it's so true, we are just getting started.